My first 10 minutes of time flies were just pure joy, even though my life was short. I felt free to do whatever I wanted. I drank, I made friends, I watched tennis, and I spent 2 whole minutes just running in circles on a spinning record. Even though the clock was always ticking, I was happy. Time was not my problem. In Time Flies, you play as a housefly with a lifespan of about 70 seconds. Before you begin, you can pick a country for your fly to be born in, and it determines how many seconds your fly has in that life. At this point, it doesn't really matter much. You just pick whichever country you like. I think it's quite fun to explore each country's lifespan. Then your fly is born. The clock starts the moment you take flight, counting down the seconds you have left. During your fleeting life, you are free to do whatever you like. Stroll leisurely across the floor, fly straight into death. You can always choose how you die. A peaceful death, or you wanna go with a bang, your choice. Then you are born and free to go again. No penalty, no regrets. Well, except that you have to fly through the corpses of your previous lives. But time is not always against you. Approaching certain objects will trigger the camera to zoom in, and the clock pauses. You've entered the zone. In these eternal zones, you can mess around as long as you like. You can sit with a guitar, or sit on a person, and just be. The game lets you experience these significant objects or people, which will become a bucket list for you to cross off before you die. This list is full of vague and ambiguous goals. Just roll with it, make friends, meet your biggest fan. It's up to you to interpret what they really mean. The goal is to check off everything in a single lifetime. Suddenly, everything began to feel like obligations. There are like 10 or 12 things to do in just 70 seconds. That means you have around 7 seconds to fly to each object on the bucket list. You're no longer flying, you are optimizing. Time becomes a lurking shadow behind your brain. In my own life, I always try to make every second count. I live with this quiet pressure to squeeze as much as possible out of the little time I have. Time flies start to mirror that. To clear the whole bucket list, you need to choose the country with the longest lifespan, plan the shortest route, collect coins to buy a few more seconds, and literally rewind the clock. The instant it becomes about squeezing time to get to the next level, I stop enjoying the game. Playing an instrument just wasn't fun anymore. Making people laugh didn't make me giggle along with them anymore. And bringing people together feels more like just shoving them into each other, just because the checklist demands. I was happiest in those moments when I was spinning on that record, wasting my breath on the sofa, doing silly things for no reason, and just forgetting the clock altogether. But if I only ever stay in those cozy moments, I would eventually die alone on that sofa, never knowing the joy of all the other fleeting moments waiting out there. Life just comes with the myths, efficiency, deadlines, the pressure to move forward. They are all part of it. Time is almost always working against us. But that doesn't mean it has to feel grim. Beautiful moments are waiting for us in the least expected places. You get to meet your family, you see the largest fountain ever made, you make someone smile. Those tiny sparks keep us going right up until the end. Your last mission as a fly is to enter a dark room, flip the light switch on, and fly straight into the bubble. first time I did it, I thought, okay, not a bad way to end. Let me finish everything else first, and I'll come back here. I cleaned up everything in the house. I prepared myself physically and mentally. Then I returned into that room. Something had changed. All the candles in the room had lit themselves up. They are like my guiding lights to my death. And in that moment I knew, this is it. This is my time and place to die. I flew straight into the light. In the end, I'm not alone anymore. Thank you for watching. I almost quit halfway through because I don't like to race against the time again and again. But I'm glad I pushed through. See you again.